Hey guys, welcome back. I've got a pretty modest stack of vintage horror comic books that I would like to show you guys. Uh, why I love horror comic books so much? I often get asked that, but the question that I ask you is, why don't you like horror comics? It's the biggest misconception is that horror comic books are scary and gross. To me, this is art. You know, there's no reason that this extraordinary genre should be so maligned. You know, I just I can't find an answer. I just love it. Always have. Anyways, I'll stop rambling and let's just get to the comics. This is the Shadow #1, 1964 Archie Comics. The cover is by Paul Reinman, and then there's a Jerry Siegel story in this. Gasp #2 from 1967 by ACG, American Comics Group. A beautiful painted cover by Edvard Moritz. Gas is basically an anthology series featuring horror and sci-fi. This run only has 4 issues in it, and I bought 2 of these. I didn't know. I forgot I had #1. I'm sorry. I forgot I already had another one, but I don't mind at all. Onto some Marvel. This is the Vault of Evil series, issue 2 from 1973. Covers by Mike Plug. A few stories reprinted from the comic Strange Tales with the Stanley scripts. Issue 23 from 1975. Covered by Ron Wilson. The cover story has art by Jack Kirby. It reprints Tales to Astonish #27. I love this Crypt of Shadows, issue #3 from 1973. That's a John Romita cover. Just the inking on this cover is the standout for me. Dead of Night, issue #2 from 1974. A George Russo's cover. I'm actually hitting this run pretty good. This series has about 11 issues. Another anthology of some short horror story reprints. Basically, that's what Marvel did. Brought back the classic horror tales that were right around the pre-code and reprinted them in the 70s. Here's another example of another title, anthology short horror stories. Chamber of Chills, issue #22. A Larry Lieber cover from 1976. This run had 25 issues. Really like the yellow on this one. Beware, issue 6. Another cover by Ron Wilson. This one's from 1974. Marvel notoriously continues to reprint their pre-code horror stories, guys. I already mentioned that to you. Okay, on to some DC Bronze Age World of Horror. Unexpected, issue 94, 1976, Murphy Anderson cover. I remember showing this in the Twitter live video on Halloween because it was in my den at the time, so I just displayed it on video for you guys. So that's pretty cool. I actually love this cover. If this isn't a social commentary on political divisiveness, then I don't know what is. Unexpected 104 from 1967. I don't even have to research this cover. It's totally Neil Adams. It's really great. I love the green in the background, and it looks like Vincent Price. Oh, this is like a darker green. This is issue number 154 from 1974. This one has Nick Cardy on the cover. 169 from 1975. An underrated Luis Dominguez piece. Something about his creepy cobwebs and subtle atmosphere, highlighted with a casket on the cover, is It's just, I don't know, I just love it. I just love Luis Dominguez for that. You guys should go back and look at all of the Luis Dominguez covers that feature a coffin with cobwebs. He kills it. He's no he's no Ingalls, but still great. Another cover by Luis Dominguez. I actually read that. Oh, by the way, this is issue 199. I actually read somewhere that this is the only cover art to show Dracula on it. And there's well over 200 issues in this run. So I don't know, I find it hard to believe, but that's what it says. And I don't really like this cover of Luis Dominguez. I prefer the original artwork for this cover, and I'm going to show it to you guys right now. It's pretty incredible. Stick to the black and whites, Luis. Stick to the black and whites. Alright, season's greetings. We're at issue 220 of Unexpected. Joe Kubert cover. And the cover story is called Santa Claus is a Killer. I remember reading this during the holidays, and totally reminded me of the Vault of Horror issue number 35. The story All Through the House. It actually Tales from the Crypt TV show from 1989 did an episode on that comic book story. So the only difference is the ending. There's like Santa's a good guy instead of a crazy guy from that broke out of a nut house. Some of you might recall this issue. I showed it on Twitter around Halloween. So much overwhelming support from all two of you. House of Mysteries number 205. Jack Sparling from 1972. One of my favorite covers is House of Mystery number 208. This is a comic book that I keep on buying when I see in the bin. I've always loved this cover as long as I've been into horror comic books, and that's a long time. So that's Nick Hardy. 273 from 1979. This is Mycoletta. I don't really like this cover too much. It actually looks like something from the 80s. It's early 70s. It doesn't suit it. All right, issue number 283 from 1980, Joe Kubert. The bug shall inherit the earth. Now that's a massive infestation. One of my favorite comic books of all time, issue number 256. I have multiple copies of this one as well. Of course, features a Bernie Wrightson cover and story. It's full of creative in this book. It's actually a thick book, man. And it also has some early art from Arthur Sedan. So, closing in on my Werewolf by Night. This is issue number 4. Of course, Mike Blue cover from 1973. Weird War, issue 20. I need to track down more of these books. I usually save the Weird Wars for last, but there was a time earlier this year, last year I guess, I was hitting the war comics a little hard, but then that stopped almost suddenly. I get easily distracted and go back to my other interests, which are horror and 80s alternative and underground, which I love to dig right now more than anything. Weird Wonder Tales number 2, another reprint title from 1974. This one is filed under my Gil Kane cover collection, which is my favorite Bronze Age artist. Now this book I actually pulled out of a quarter bin. Forbidden Worlds, issue number 61, a 10 center. Now look closely at the cover. Yes, there is water damage to it, and these lines here, I'm like, oh, that's rips, tears. Someone probably taped it, and the dumbass removed it. No, that's part of the cover by Ogden Whitney. You guys recognize the name, that's because he's one of the best romance comic artists of all time. He's basically a pulp artist. So, and I know because I've been also collecting Golden Age romance and cartoons comics this year too, which I'm gonna be showing in videos later on. Show you my new stuff that I'm into. Phantom Stranger issue number 28 from 1974. Another Nick Cardy cover. What's with Nick Cardy using heavy greens and purples? Just pay attention at his back issues, man. It's heavy on the green and purple. Nick Cardy. Tumor Dracula issue 41. Closing in on this one too. Gene Colan, 1976. First Cynthia Collin. And it also has a Blade appearance. And it's a Halloween story. But it's actually, the story has nothing to do with Halloween, which was disappointing. Issue 12. This one I pulled out of the quarter bin as well. It's beat to shit, but I don't care. It doesn't really bother me at all. I have a room full of heavyweight comics upstairs anyways, so this is nothing. 1973. Oh, actually, the cover is done by Frank Bruner, the creator of Quack. And this one has the first appearance of Saffron Calder, who is Blade's ex-girlfriend. And it's apparently the second appearance of Blade. So, that's cool. And I'll end it here with a 1993 reprint of the greatest comic book publisher of all time, EC Comics. The Haunted Fear, issue 3. We got Johnny Craig doing the breakdowns, baby. Nice cover. I might do a video on my Tales for the Crypt comic that I have, my original, Jack Davis, beautiful cover. I might do a 3-hour video just jerking off to it, because I love it so much. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I might do the alternative books next, because I've been talking about doing alternative comic hauls for the past 2 years. I'm actually gonna friggin' do it. Alright, thanks for watching, see ya.